I know it's Valentine, the big squirts look fine.
Hello racing fans, and welcome to another edition of Handicappers Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill down here at 176th and 0 Avenue, right near the Pacific Crossing. Drew Forster, Mike Heads, we're going to go through the 8-race program on August the 11th at Hastings Racecourse. Drew, in great conditions.
It should be beautiful. We've had the springtime was really rough. We had a terrible spring here, lots of rain, but it's turned. It's been beautiful weather. It's been tough handicapping because a lot of these horses have been running on sloppy tracks. Now we're starting to get some good form under them. It's turned around a little bit, so that's something to keep an eye on. Jump right into it.
Yeah, sure. You can lead on.
Lead off, first race, Fillies and Mares, maiden 3,000. And I've gone to a horse that ran here once, so let it be written. The 5 horse out of the Jonathan Nance barn. Jonathan's brought a few horses up here. He's had some success. This one ran a good race last time behind Just Like Emma, Spirit Wandering. I think with the trip over the course, it's her turn this time. It seems like she ran once going long. That was the last time, first time going long. So now she's been once over the track, once going long. I think she moves forward, gets the red-hot Richard Hamill in the irons. I got to her on top. Second spot, I put a horse that's been knocking on the door. His founder level, been right there. The last 2 times, Buffalo Babe. Just got beat last time by All Roses. I think she's going the right direction too, so I have her in second. In the third spot, I have Yeah, I'm a Redhead out of the Rick Terry barn. Rick brought her up here from Sunland in New Mexico. Was a little high and running against the boys a lot just to get long races. Now she's in for 3,000, in against girls. I think that's more her trip. I have her in the third spot. 5, 2, and 4 for me.
Yeah, not really a race where you can fall in love with any of them. Like, I've gone to the 3 Fuchsia. I'm going to take a shot on her. She's by Rock Hard 10. I'm going to hope that she wants to go long. I thought a better than looked effort when running 4th behind Play for Peace, Star Whacker, and Buffalo Babe. She had the 10 hole in that race, and there's 11 horses in it. It was just a lot of traffic, way less traffic. I like to work too, 1-1 and change, maybe signaling she's kind of coming around. I'm going to take a shot on her. I don't love her, but I mean, I'm going to take her on top. Put the 2 Buffalo Babe in for second. Not too sure if she can go long, but she's certainly proven she was knocking on the door going short. We'll see if she can handle the extra quarter of a mile, but she's as good as anything in here. And I put the 4, Yeah, I'm a Redhead, in for third. Gets it back in against the girls. I think that's the most important change. The mare races for 5 and 10 weren't going at a mile and 16, so Rick was forced to run this horse against the boys to run long. So a better spot here against the girls, so don't be surprised if she even jumps up and wins it. I went 3, 2, and 4. On to the second race, $5,000 claimers going a mile and the 16th. I was torn between the 2 Charter Hill and the 6 Good, Bad, and Ugly. I went to Charter Hill. I'm going to hope that he's going to set the pace in here. He's been showing pretty good sprint speed, and that might be good enough to get him to the lead and sit ahead of Good, Bad, and Ugly. Whoever sits in front of the other, the 2 or the 6, I think will win the money. And as long as they don't duel each other into defeat. But I like Charter Hill on the stretch out. Just missed a Lookout Dubai in 1 zone accord last time. A lot tougher horses, those ones. And Good, Bad, and Ugly, a good runner-up effort to Hornblower. This is an easier test for him as well. Just going to have to deal with Charter Hill. I think those are your 2. I put the 4 horse Dakar Guy in for third. He's coming around. Good runner-up effort in his first try long in quite some time. So I went 2, 6, and 4.
I agree with you, the top 2. I ended up putting Good, Bad, and Ugly on top. I think he's tough in here. I flopped around a bunch, couldn't decide between those 2. Ended up with Good, Bad, and Ugly on top. Charter Hill, as you mentioned. I like the fact he gets back with Perez, who had a fair bit of success on this horse earlier in the year. They're back together. And in the third spot, I put Great Prince, a horse that really likes to go long. He's proven long at the distance. He's won 10 races at this distance. So I have him in the third spot. It's 6, 2, and 7.
I know he's got my horse beat by 10 wins in the distance. Charter Hill still hasn't won one going long. So, but still,
that's what kind of scared me off.
Yeah, still hasn't. But still, not this level. It's the first time he's going to get a chance to run long and maybe strut his stuff.
That's true. In the third race, Fillies and Mares, non-2, 4,000. I went to the 2 horse here, Naughty Librarian. Looked really good her first start of her life. Came back with a couple Dell efforts, all for the maiden 20 level. Dropped in, Mark Lucci had claimed her for the 20. Dropped in a maiden 10, made no mistake that day, won that day. Spring into Fashion Run third that day, she come back and won. Then tried the non-2, non-3, 17.5 level. That wasn't for her. Drops right down to the 4 non-2 level. I think that's just too much of a drop to ignore here. I have her on top. The second spot, I have Flames Ablazing out of the Jim Brown barn. Jim's having a good meet this year. This horse is always hard knocking little filly. Always seems to be right there. Just got beat 2 lengths by Hillingdon last time. Yeah. Hillingdon was taking a huge plunge down, so it was much the best there, and only beat her by 2 lengths. So I think she's live in here. And in the third spot, I put Tactical Terra, a horse who broke her maiden pretty nice at the 3,000 level. Good second at this level, the non-2 4,000 to Haley's Cupcake Bake. Last time just had a brutal kind of trip, was wide, and I just kind of threw the last race out. Going off the race 2 back, I think she's in the hunt, so I put her in third spot. 2, 4, and 5 for me.
Yeah, I got the same top 2. I think Naughty Librarian, the 2 horses, Stone Cold.
Too much to handle, yeah.
There's no non-2. The problem is there's no non-275s or any other. They're non-375s.
Yeah.
So if you want to run non-2, it's getting to that time of year. It's almost September. You know, almost the middle of August. Yeah. So I mean, it's time to start winning races, and so. You got to get aggressive.
These horses start plunging,
had some shots, you know, up a little higher. So you're going to see horses get aggressively spotted, and which makes for short price winners. But I think this horse will be a short priced winner. Naughty Librarian shouldn't be bothered by the distance change at a mile and 16th. It might even help her out. As you mentioned, Flames Ablazing. Jim Brown is ablazing this year.
Yeah.
Continues to go well with his barn, and I think this horse all she needs is some pace help, and she might even win the money. She's been running at some slow paces. Look at that, 50 for the half, 48 and 4. It's just been too slow for her to win, and so maybe a little livelier pace, and maybe she can even get the winner's check. I put the 8 Golden Roar in for third. Newcomer here to Hastings, been running at Golden Gate and Pleasanton. Moves up to the Pat Jarvis barn. Definitely a horse that's done her best at this distance, so give her a look as well. So I went 2, 4, and 8. On to the fourth race. We've got some maiden 3 granders, fillies and mares here going 6.5 furlongs. I'm going to the outside of the 7, Alusha. Tried to go a mile and 16th last time. She flopped doing that. I guess she's just a sprinter. And if you look at her sprint, she's as good as anyone else in here. Yeah. There's no speed in the race at all. She might even be able to find herself a 23 flat opening quarter and get herself on the head end. And she's come back with a work since that race. I think Alusha's definitely the one to beat. I put the 2-horse Homestar in for second. Had some trouble in the stretch last time. Would have been a little bit closer to Reveling. It's actually a better than looked race. This horse ran 7th, beaten 11.5 lengths. But Reveling won by almost 9 lengths. Yeah, so this horse only got beat 2.5 lengths for second and had some trouble in the stretch. So as 7ths go, that was a pretty good 7th. And Homestar definitely has some value, I think, here. And I put the 1-horse Triple Witching Hour just looked as good as anything else. I put her in for third. But I like 7 and 2. I think those are your 2 horses. I went 7, 2, and 1.
This is a tough race. I have Alusha on top, like you do. I think she's the best filly in this race. I have her on top. After that, it's kind of a mixed bag of horses that have struggling to be competitive in these races. I ended up going to the 2 Leona's Miss. Mark Lucci's been heating up a little bit lately. I don't quite know what to say about her. She's taken a drop. She was in that Maurice Glory race. Maurice Glory took a big drop down and won the maiden 5 level. She takes a little softer spot down to the maiden 3 level. So
good work last time, 48.
Yeah, I think she's maybe starting to go the right way. So I have her in the second spot. And the third spot, I have Majestic Woman, a horse that was competitive at this level early on. Robbie Anderson, another guy having a really good meet. Gave her some time off, brought her back. Maybe she was just a little flat after the break, but now her second start after the break. I expect her to be a little bit liver. So I have her in the third spot. 7, 4, and 6 for me. And on to the 5th race. Another one. Non-2-4, this time for the 3-year-olds and upwards. And another one I kind of had some trouble with. Had a few different horses picked on top here, juggled them around, ended up on Puna Point. Crushed, was coming from off the pace. Pedro put it on the lead for that maiden 5 and just crushed 1 by 7. Came back in in one of those 7,500 non-3s, as you were mentioning. You know, tough to find a non-2 level. Now drops down to the 4,000 non-2. I think he fits this level pretty good. Have him on top. Second spot, I have a horse that ran into some tough horses last time at this level. Count Green, the 5-horse, ran into Minstrel's Time. Yeah. It was much the best that day, so he's okay. Another one out of the Robbie Anderson barn, who I mentioned is having a strong year. And a third spot, I have the 4 Excess Dividend, a horse who stretched out last time the maiden 3 level and made no mistake, 1 by 4. So maybe he's starting to put it together too. Coming off a win. Goes right in the 4 non-2 level, a logical move from the maiden 3000. I have him in third spot. 6, 5, and 4 for me.
Yeah, I like Puna Point as well. That's what I'm going to land on here to win it. Pretty impressed with the run with Pedro aboard. He jumps back aboard for the Saturday race, and I think he'll go long. He's by Vying Victor at a Comic Opera. Comic Opera won at amount of 16. Actually won the Fantasy or the Pink Lady, whatever they called it at the time when she was running in it. But Puna Point, I think she'll run on. She wasn't disgraced in that, or he wasn't disgraced in that Dilwyn, Quattro's Raider, Prophet Star race at all. And I think this is a lot easier test, so I like Puna Point. I put the 4 excess dividend for. You pretty much touched on everything. Kind of got a late start to the year. Didn't start till June, so this horse kind of rounding into form, stretched out finally and went long and crushed him. And he might be moving forward, so don't leave him off the ticket. And I put the 8 horse. Follow my orders in for third. Amadeo Perez jumps in the irons. Tough trip last time. Was wide the entire race against slow fractions. He's better than that. Give him another shot in the tries and supers. But I went 6, 4, and 8 in the 5th on Saturday. In the 6th race, we got some maiden 20 granders going 6 furlongs. These are 2-year-olds. Good little race here. I'm gonna try the 7 horse, Shotgun Ralph. Pretty impressed with the way he was sitting close to some very fast fractions that were being set by 1030 and Tracker. 1030 is a pretty nice filly of the Greg Tracy barn. Tracker came back to run third on BC Cup Day in the nursery. And this horse has the race under his belt, drops to 20, got something out of it, got tired obviously, but I think this horse will move forward off of that race. Might even be able to find his way to the front. Don't really see a lot of pace in here unless one of the firsters jumps up and flashes early speed, but I'm going to give Shotgun Ralph a big chance to win. I put the 3 Rooster on a Cactus in for second, out of the Craig McPherson barn. Good works here, good connections. By Cactus Ridge, out of the Devil's Bag mare, so a great pedigree and a good string of workouts and Richard Hamill rides. So definitely this one could be very alive. And I put the 2 horse Mark out of the Dino Condolinius barn. Good closing 4th, sprinting, going 3.5. Does stretch out to 6, has a work in 3 and change. Jeff Birmingham won a race on dog for them, and he's going to try with Mark.
Try with Mark.
So I went 7, 3, and 2 in the 2-year-old race.
I have a couple of years. I went with the 3, a Rooster on a Cactus. I said Haley's Cupcake Bake was my favorite name at Hastings. I think that's been overtaken by a Rooster on a Cactus. Out of the Always Dangerous Craig McPherson barn, him and Hamill have a lot of success together. Hamill probably had a few options in here. He went with Craig's horse. The works look good. That's the horse I'm going with, the 3 on top. The second spot, I put the 8 horse out of the Tracy McCarthy barn, Quit Your Whining. First time out for maiden special weight, got beat by Bamboo Dream, came back and won on BC Cup Day, won a stake on BC Cup Day. So I think there's probably something there dropping into the maiden 20 level. And Shotgun Ralph out of the Rob Van Overshot barn, I have that horse in for third. I did like the way he ran last time. I could see him winning it too, for sure. I think there's more talent there. Like you say, he kind of got up to the fast pace last time. There's definitely some talent there. So but I ended up going 3, 8, and 7. And on to the 7th race, 3-year-olds and up for 7,500, wide open. And in here I went to the 5 horse Matchable, picking 2 Craig McPherson horses in a row. This guy's been pretty tough all year. He won for 12.5, came back, just got beat by Full Power Ahead for 12.5. Jumped up to the 15 level. Pop Artist was in there because the 25s weren't going. So he went into the 15. It was a really tough race for 15. He ended up only got beat 5.5 by Pop Artist. Now he drops down to 75. I think he looks pretty salty in here. The second spot I put Whistler Gold. He just ran, just got beat 2 lengths for 7,500 last time, but that was an awfully tough 7,500. Mr. Cooper came, they were going really fast up early. He was kind of mid-pack. Him and Arkhill moved at the same time. Mr. Cooper came, swallowed them both up because of the fast fractions, 21 and 3 and 45. So I think he gets a better trip this time. And in the third spot, I put the 3 horse One Zone Accord. He's put in some pretty salty races this year. Hasn't been off the board hardly at all. Seconds and thirds first, so I like him too. I got him in for the third spot. 5, 4, and 3 for me. Yeah,
I'm going to take the 3 One Zone Accord on top. I just see a pile of speed in here. I think it's going to help One Zone Accord. Got the 1 a Fleet Mac that's definitely going to go. A Whistler Gold I think may flash a little matchable. Yeah. Vernon Cat and the Lasting Peace. I just see the front end being very crowded, and I see One Zone Accord kind of just minding his own business at the back of the pack, and then running on and perhaps catching them all. Just missed a lookout to buy last time in a very quick 117 flat. So I'm going to follow him back. I put the 4 Whistler Gold. I'm going to give him a shot back on a fast track. As you mentioned, many horses haven't been able to get on a fast track over the past, because the spring and early summer has been so rude in the weather department. And Whistler Gold's, he hasn't been on a fast track since opening day, so give him another chance. He's a big, long striding horse that probably will appreciate a fast racing strip. So, and he's got a good work too. So I'm going to follow Whistler Gold back. That was a better than look third. I don't think he liked it at all that day, the going. And I put a Fleet Mac in for third. Good run, a good win last time. Went fast fractions, kept on going. You know, speed's been dangerous in the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Been,
You know, horses, I've never seen the like of it. The horses going in 44 and change and keep going. They just find another gear. So I don't want to leave that horse off the ticket either. But so I leave Matchable out. I leave Joy of the Lord out. It's kind of it's a tough race.
You might want to go a little deep in, for sure.
Yeah, but it's just so much speed in here. I just wanted an off-the-pace horse, and I won one zone accord. I think this horse gets set up. I went 3, 4, and 1. Okay, on to the 8th and final. Got a field of 9 4,000 non-2. We had a few of these the first couple days of the weekend. Non-2s going 6.5 furlongs. I went to the 8 Lucky Moly Minor, dropping from 12.5 in here for the 4. Good third to With Council and Royal Victor. Just needs to repeat that race. Obviously, Terry Clyde not happy with the merchandise they got. They don't even mess around with them. Claimed it for 12.5. They drop him for 4. And he's got to be respected. Same as the 7, Tommy DeHorsey, protected him in some tough allowance races for his first 2 starts this year. Now they hit rock bottom down here for the non-2-4. So you got to take a look at him as well. And the 2-horse Dog Rock, he's the horse that's been running at this level, been running pretty good, knocking at the door, but kind of unlucky to hook so many class droppers like the 7, 8. And it just looks like it's going to be a tough race for Dog Rock, but I do have him in for third. But I went 8, 7, and 2.
I have the same top 2 as you do, but I put Tommy DeHorsey on top. He hasn't run a whole lot in his life, which makes you think he's maybe not the soundest horse, but he's eligible to run a big race. Been running against way tougher horses. That race 2 back, he only got beat 3 lengths by Unquiet, Alberta Breeze, W's Command, some of the nicer 3-year-olds around these parts. Sorry, not. It was like there were some 3-year-olds in there.
Yeah, nice horses.
Mixed bag, but it was some nice horses in there. He only got beat 3 lengths. Was pretty well backed in another wide open race after that with High End Man, Timeless Storm, some other tough horses, and just kind of fell apart that day. I don't know exactly what happened, but takes the big plunge down to 4. I think that's enough for him. I just think it's too big a drop, so I have him on top. Lucky Moly Minor, as you mentioned, has to be respected in here. I have that one in second, and as you mentioned, Dog Rock, I have the same one in third. So I'm right there with you, Mike. Same picks.
3. It looks like
I just switched the top 2. 7, 8, and 2 for me.
So Drew's going to go with the 7, Tommy DeHorsey. I'm going to go with the 8-horse, Lucky Moly Minor. Well, that'll do it for the analysis of our Saturday program. Up next, to do a quick recap of all of our selections for the Saturday program. Here come my picks. Back in race number 1, I went to the 3, Fuchsia. I went 3, 2, and 4. In the second race, I went to the 2, Charter Hill, 2, 6, and 4. In the third race, I went to the 2, Naughty Librarian, 2, 4, and 8. In the fourth race, number 7, Alusha, 7, 2, and 1. In the fifth race, I went to the 6, Puna Point. I went 6, 4, and 8. In the sixth race, I went to the 7, Shotgun Ralph, 7, 3, and 2. In the seventh race, hoping the closer, number 3, One Zone Accord, can get up. I went 3, 4, and 1. And in the 8th and final, I went to the 8, Lucky Moly Minor, 8, 7, and 2.
And on to my picks. There we are. In the first, I went with the 5, So Let It Be Written, with the 2 and the 4. The second race, I went with the 6, Good, Bad, and Ugly, over the 2 and 7. In the third race, I'm with Mike. I went with the 2, Naughty Librarian, over the 4 and 5. In the fourth race, again with Mike, I went with the 7, Alusha, over 4 and 6. In the fifth race, number 6, Puna Point, over the 5 and 4. In the sixth race, I went with the first-time starter of the McPherson Barn, number 3, A Rooster on a Cactus, over the 8 and 7. In the seventh race, I went with number 5, Matchable, over the 4 and 3. And the nightcap, the 8th, I went with the 7, Tommy DeHorsey, over the 8 and the 2.
All right, thanks everyone for joining in here on Handicappers Corner. Don't forget, if you've missed any episode, they're all archived. You can go to Handicappers Corner, right on the Derby Bar and Grill website, or you can go to YouTube and click on the Handicappers Corner. Actually, there's actually an icon. Or
there's a link on the Derby Bar and Grill website.
To go right to YouTube, and then it gets you to Handicappers Corner, and then all our episodes are archived there, so you can watch them at any. Pretty convenient for the viewer.
If you want to go back and see how we did.
How we did. All those good days. All right, on behalf of Drew, I've been Mike Heads. Thanks. Once again, thanks for joining us here on Handicappers Corner, and look forward to seeing you next time.
Boys, I got the beatbox noise. It says the great-grandfather was equipoised.
I told Paul Revere, now this is no bum steer. It's from a handicapper that's real sincere.
I'm taking Valentine.